Have you ever wondered how Darth Vader managed to survive for so long inside that terrifying black suit? I mean, let's be real. Burned alive, missing limbs, and still commanding fear across the galaxy? That's some serious endurance. In today's video, we're breaking down the science, technology, and sheer willpower that kept Vader going for decades. So, before we dive into the dark side of medical tech, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more awesome Star Wars content, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Now let's get into it. The extent of his injuries. To understand why Vader even needed that armor, we need to rewind to one of the most tragic duels in Star Wars history, Anakin versus Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Anakin suffered some of the most severe injuries imaginable. The heat from the lava scorched his body, burning away skin and muscle tissue, leaving him severely weakened. He lost both legs at the knee and his remaining organic arm, meaning he had no way to support himself. Perhaps most devastatingly, his lungs were irreparably damaged from inhaling scorching volcanic gases. His survival was nothing short of miraculous, and the only reason he endured was his unparalleled connection to the Force. Even in agony, his will remained unbroken, allowing him to resist what should have been a fatal fate. However, this was only the beginning of his suffering. The suit, a walking life support system. So, how did the armor keep him alive? Vader's suit wasn't just an intimidating fashion statement, it was a full-on, high-tech life support system engineered for survival. The black suit regulated his body functions, controlled pain, and ensured he could breathe. His helmet was the most essential component, equipped with a hyper-advanced filtration system and respirator to compensate for his destroyed lungs. The constant rhythmic breathing we associate with Vader was a direct result of this system, keeping him alive by pushing oxygen through his damaged respiratory system. The suit also had built-in medical stimulants to help him function despite his chronic injuries. It regulated his body temperature, provided artificial nutrients, and even monitored his vital signs at all times. However, despite its incredible life-preserving features, it was far from perfect. The suit was bulky, uncomfortable, and deliberately restrictive, likely a design choice by Emperor Palpatine to ensure Vader remained in a constant state of suffering, reinforcing his dependence on the dark side. Cybernetic enhancements. Beyond keeping him alive, Vader's suit significantly enhanced his physical abilities. His artificial limbs, while crude compared to more advanced cybernetics in the Star Wars universe, gave him immense strength. His grip was powerful enough to crush bones effortlessly, and his cybernetic legs allowed him to stand his ground even against the strongest opponents. Despite this, his movements were less fluid than they had been as Anakin Skywalker. The weight of the suit, combined with the stiffness of his prosthetics, made him slower, forcing him to adapt his combat style into one focused on sheer power rather than agility. Unlike General Grievous, whose cybernetic body was designed for swift and lethal precision, Vader's enhancements were more rudimentary. This was another form of control. Palpatine ensured that his apprentice would always struggle, never reaching the full potential he might have had with more sophisticated prosthetics. The Force as a healing tool. Technology alone wasn't enough to keep Vader alive. His mastery of the Force played a crucial role in prolonging his life. The dark side granted him an unnatural resilience, allowing him to push through immense pain and physical degradation. Some theories even suggest that Vader used the Force to sustain his damaged cells, preventing further deterioration. However, the dark side also took a toll on his body. Sith rely on negative emotions, anger, hatred, and pain, to fuel their power, and this constant rage likely accelerated his body's decline. Unlike Jedi, who used the Force for balance and healing, Sith consumed their own vitality in pursuit of greater strength. Over time, this reliance on the dark side contributed to his weakening, forcing him to depend even more on his suit. Long-term effects and eventual decline. Despite all the life-extending measures, Vader's body continued to deteriorate. His suit required constant maintenance, and his damaged organs were vulnerable to infection and failure. The longer he remained in the armor, the more it became a prison rather than a second chance at life. By the time of Return of the Jedi, his physical state was failing. Even with the immense power of the Force, He could no longer escape the inevitable breakdown of his body. When Luke removed his helmet, we saw the full extent of his suffering, pale, scarred, and barely clinging to life. The helmet had become his lifeline, and without it, his body could no longer sustain itself. In his final moments, he made peace with his past, finally free from the torment of both his armor and the dark side. Darth Vader's survival was a combination of Sith engineering, cybernetics, and sheer willpower. His armor kept him alive, but it was also a constant source of suffering, reinforcing his connection to the dark side. His mastery of the Force extended his life beyond what should have been possible, but ultimately, nothing could prevent his eventual decline. Vader was both a terrifying force of nature and a tragic figure, trapped in a body that was as much a cage as it was a weapon. His story remains one of the most compelling in all of Star Wars, a testament to the cost of power and the consequences of choices made in anger and fear. So, what do you think? Could Vader have lived longer with more advanced technology? Would he have been stronger if he had embraced healing rather than suffering? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Star Wars lore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights into the galaxy far, far away. Until next time, may the Force be with you.